So what is emotional wellness? Emotional wellness includes your thoughts, emotions, and your ability to deal with life's challenges, and is the active process towards stress reduction, self-care, and maintaining inner strength. In other words, making you feel better about your personal and work-life situations. When the COVID lockdowns took over all our lives, communities, businesses, and relationships, we all became isolated in unprecedented ways. Even if you worked side by side with other people, the feeling of isolation was felt far and wide. On top of this, many people had to mentally and physically manage fears around COVID, as well as maybe the loss of life around them and work struggles. While COVID is not completely gone forever, lockdowns and physical isolation are things of the past. We need to get to work on rebuilding our emotional wellness now more than ever. And in this video, the internal focus of emotional wellness, I'm going to work to help you reset your mindset around this critical dimension of wellness. But know this, whatever you are feeling right now, it's okay. It's okay to feel whatever's going on inside you. So let's get started. The National Institute of Health gives us some clarity around ways to think about emotional wellness. Now, these are really mindset resets that anyone can focus on at any moment. In our next video, which is the external focus video, we'll talk about how to implement strategies and actually put these to work with some others. But for now, I wanted to give you some areas to start thinking about. So let's go through these together. The first one is building resilience. Now, building resilience can be as simple as just overcoming an obstacle or managing one of life's very stressful situations all the way through so that you get past it and move forward. Building resilience takes time, but the key is to remain positive while you're going through some type of a struggle. The next piece is to reduce stress. Now, we've talked about this in other videos, but really backing off your stress levels, trying to take some things maybe off your calendar that are overwhelming or that are really dominating your mind, dominating your day. Reducing stress is also about letting certain things go. If there are small, agitating things that happen, maybe just letting those go today will help you reduce just a little bit stress. Reducing any stress, no matter how small, is a positive step in the right direction. The next one is getting quality sleep. Now, I can't stress this one enough. Quality sleep, really getting restful sleep, and lots of professionals recommend between 6 and 8 hours of sleep, depending on you and what you do and your lifestyle. But sleep, no matter how much you're getting, has to be quality. It has to be very much focused on rebuilding you from the inside out. So getting quality sleep is really, really important. Now, sometimes that takes a little bit of discipline. Whenever you get home from a busy work day or whenever you're done working, you've really got to make a commitment to get quality sleep. The next one is strengthening your social connections. Again, we have mentioned this before, so I don't want to go too deeply into it, but let's just reiterate that strengthening your social connections is critical if you want to go to the next place of emotional wellness. The next one is being mindful. Now, being mindful to me is, maybe you've heard it articulated as being present or being in the moment. And in the next video, we're going to talk about a breathing exercise that will help you really focus on the moment. But for now, what it means is maybe just taking a little breath, maybe just resetting your mind for a moment in a time of stress or struggle and being mindful of everyone around you and of yourself and what you need in that moment to be emotionally well. So while these are a good start, I also want to emphasize that the main point of emotional wellness is that you start to think about it. Just really putting attention on it in your brain is the beginning step. Building a new awareness around this critical wellness area is important, but you're on a journey to wellness. This is not a race. We're not trying to move through this as fast as possible. So I can't stress enough that you really need to pace yourself. When it comes to emotional wellness, you need to check in with yourself. When are you feeling overwhelmed? When are you feeling stressed? And you really do need to pace yourself. But while awareness of the key areas is critical, without a frequent mental check-in, your emotional wellness can get out of control very quickly. Now, the University of New Hampshire recently published a series of tools for wellness check-ins that both students and their faculty could engage in often. So how do you check in with your emotional wellness according to the university? Well, here are a couple of their examples. Do you see stress as something you can learn from or something to avoid? Now, a lot of times we're trying to run away from stress, we're trying to ignore it or not think about it, but oftentimes we need to ask ourselves, can we learn from this stress? So keep that one in mind. Can I learn from a situation I'm in that might be a little bit of a struggle right now? The next one is, are you aware of your bodily sensations, your emotions, and your behaviors when you're stressed? Now, I know for me, this is critical. If I start to feel a little bit stressed, I can feel myself getting anxious, I can feel my heart rate go up. I know in my body that I'm starting to get stressed. And so it's good to have that awareness. Really check in with yourself when stress is starting to ramp up inside you. The next one is, does your stress cause you to seek relief? Now, relief could mean all kinds of things. It could mean eating bad food, could mean drinking alcohol. But either way, when you start to feel that you're seeking some type of a relief from your stress, that's another place you want to check in with yourself and ask, okay, instead of trying to seek relief, how do I maybe learn from this? How do I grow from it? And the other piece, I find this one very valuable, is do you allow yourself to experience emotions just as they are, or do you also try to avoid those as well? I know for me, if I'm feeling frustrated or angry, I really try to avoid those emotions instead of just facing them and accepting that they're there and dealing with them as they come up. The other important tool from this team is on the positive side. How do we know if we're getting to a place of emotional wellness? Now, here are some really good ones. These are signs that you're starting to be emotionally well. I'm going to go through these kind of quickly because we're going to talk more about them in the next video. Having the ability to talk with someone about your emotional concerns and share your feelings with others. That's a key one. Another one is saying no when you need to without feeling guilty or fearful. Also really critical. It's okay to say no sometimes. Feeling content most of the time. Enjoying right where you are, right here, right now. That's a really good feeling, and that's a really good sign that you're on your way to emotional wellness. Also, feeling like you have a strong support network, people in your life that care about you and that watch out for you. Another really, really good sign. And then finally, being able to relax about who you are, really feeling good about who you are. These are all great signs to say, oh, I'm on the right track to emotional wellness. So maybe you've already checked some of those off your list. Now, in our next video, I'll take you through some actions and activities you can utilize to improve your overall emotional wellness. Now, those will include tools for deep breathing, mindfulness, being present, stress management, finding a community, relaxation actions, and more. And so for now, just start to think about your mindset, your emotional well-being, and perhaps ask yourself, what is impacting my emotional wellness at this time and why? Now, in our next video, I'm going to change the setting up here a little bit. I'm going to be in my office, and it's going to be a little bit different of a setup. And I'm doing that because I really want us to reset ourselves around wellness. So I'll see you on the next video. All right, that concludes emotional wellness from an internal perspective. Now, just a couple of things to remember. You got to check in with yourself frequently when it comes to emotional wellness and know when you are on track. And then get ready, because in our next video, we're going to learn how to take more actions around emotional wellness.